The other day we have discussed about the complex symmetric titration. That is with regard to what? Yes, girls. Saturday's class, what have we discussed? Do you remember anything about the estimation of hardness of water by EDTA method?
Yes, ma'am.
The principal part. How many donor atoms are there in the EDTA molecule? EDTA is a ligand, right? How many donor atoms are there in EDTA structure?
6, ma'am.
6, ma'am.
6 donor atoms. Good. Okay. What is the name of this ligand? What do you call these complexes as? I told you one specific name for it.
EDTA, ma'am.
EDTA is your ligand. EDTA is the name of the ligand.
Hexadentate.
Hexadentate, okay, fine. But the complex I'm asking, like you remember the complex what I have drawn and shown you, like when you have 6 donor atoms surrounding the calcium or the magnesium ions present in the water, we get a
Chelate rings.
chelate ring-like structure. Okay, good. So these complexes are called as chelate rings because of because of the donor atom surrounding the metal ion in all directions, right? Okay. What is the indicator used here? What is the indicator used?
EBT, ma'am.
EBT. EBT stands for Ethiochrom black tea. Okay, EBT stands for Ethiochrom black tea. All of you have to remember the structure of EDTA. Okay. So, what is the principle here? What is the color of complex? What is the color of calcium EBT complex? Did I explain this?
Yes, ma'am. Wine red, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. When do you get a blue color? When do you get a blue color?
When the free indicator is present, ma'am.
Okay. So that is obtained when you titrate the wine red color solution with EDTA. Okay. So what will happen? How you are getting a blue color at the end point because of the formation of a metal ETTA complex. Okay, in this reaction you can see MgEBT, which is a wine red color, on reaction with EDTA. So all the EBT molecules will be replaced by EDTA. That is the time when you see a blue color solution in the conical flask. Okay, when you have your free indicator, that means no more amount of your MgEBT will be retained in the conical flask. Only when you have MgEDTA and EBT. And MgEDTA, what is its color? What is the color of MgEDTA?
Colorless, ma'am.
Very good.
Colorless, ma'am.
Yeah. Since it is colorless, you are getting a blue color, and that is imparted due to the presence of the free indicator. Now, what I'll do is I'll just play a video wherein you can see the experiment, how it is performed. Is it okay, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it shared? No, I think. I'll just share this video. So here you can see. Yeah, they're explaining what exactly is the complex symmetric titration. So you know very well that complex symmetric titration is mainly used for the estimation of your metal ions. Okay, so those are your calcium and magnesium ions. Okay, and not only that, you can also estimate the total hardness. And here you can see this is the titration which is based on the formation of coordination complexes between a metal and a complexing agent. So what is your complexing agent here? Which is the complexing agent here? Metal ion and complexing agent, right? So which is the complexing agent here?
Calcium and magnesium, ma'am.
Metal ion is your calcium magnesium, but what is the complexing agent with which your metal is bonding?
EDTA, ma'am.
Yeah, EDTA is a complexing agent, okay, or otherwise it's called as a chelating agent, and that forms soluble complexes. Okay, there are certain conditions like when the complex can form. Okay, so like when you have a metal ion or a cation in a complex, and that will accept an electron pair from one or more ligands. That is what is nothing but what you observe in the coordination compounds. And ligand must have at least one donor atom pair, electron pair to donate, and there should be coordinate covalent bonding. Okay, so example of one such reagent is EDTA. EDTA structure I think they are going to show now. EDTA, everyone of you know, it is ethylene diamond tetraesteric acid, and structure is this one. This structure already I have shown you in the last class. 6 donor atoms, those are your 2 nitrogens and 4 oxygens. 4 oxygens coming from 4 acetate groups and 2 nitrogens here. Okay, during the titration we use disodium salt of EDTA because it is more soluble in water than the normal EDTA, which is insoluble in water. That is why you write uh, disodium salt of EDTA means just replace the hydrogens of this EDTA with the sodium. So on ionization, so this is what? What is this bus? This is your structure, right? Chelate ring structure. The metal M stands for your metal, either magnesium or calcium, which is surrounded by 6 donor atoms. Is the structure clear, girls? This was already explained in the last class. This is nothing but your metal EDTA complex. Octahedral because 6 donor atoms are surrounding. This is 2 minus. So what are the things you require for the experiment? You require EDTA solution. You require a conical flask. This is the conical flask. Okay, first coming to the apparatus part. This is your burette and this is your burette stand. So stepwise I'll explain you. Okay. So this is your conical flask and this is your calcium carbonate solution. So how many steps are there in the experiment? How many steps are there?
3, ma'am.
4 steps are there. Okay. So what are those 4 steps? We'll see first. So in this procedure, like here, preparation of standard magnesium sulfate solution or standard solution, what you call. Okay, I already explained you what is the standard solution. What is the standard solution?
Whose concentration is known, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. So a solution whose concentration is known is called as a standard solution. Okay. For example, if you take a magnesium sulfate salt, okay, directly you take this salt and you prepare a standard solution of it. Okay. What do you require for preparing a standard solution? You require a standard flask. Okay. You require a standard flask. Procedure you remember, girls? The other day we discussed procedure, how to prepare a standard solution. You'll be given a known weight of magnesium sulfate salt. Okay, so that salt has to be um, dissolved in a given quantity of distilled water. So if you are talking about the 100 ml preparation of salt, then whatever is the weight provided to you, that must be dissolved in 100 ml. Okay, so while you are dissolving the salt, make sure that the salt must be dissolved in a little quantity of water. Like at once you can't add 100 ml of water because it becomes insoluble. So first make sure that you get a clear solution by adding minimum amount of distilled water to the salt, and then you get a clear solution. Once a clear solution is obtained, then you add remaining quantity of water up to the mark. Okay, I'll just show you how it is done. Maybe not in this video. Here also standard flask is not mentioned. Okay, can you see, girls?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, these are nothing but your standard flask, and these will be of different capacities 1000, 500, and 250, 100. Now, what I'm talking about is like if you are preparing a 100 ml standard solution, you just have to take this flask, okay, and always remember you will be having a marking here. Okay, till that mark, you have to add the distilled water, and for colored solutions, you have to check for the upper meniscus, and for colorless solution, you have to check for the lower meniscus. And if you see here, in this image you have a very much clarity regarding the level, right? So this is the level up to which you're going to add your distilled water. Okay, so just take this flask, transfer your salt, add little quantity of distilled water, dissolve the salt, and then remaining quantity of distilled water must be added till this mark. Okay, so that you can prepare a 100 ml standard solution, and then you observe a mark here. Okay, so like as I told, because this MgSO4 is a colorless salt, so therefore you just have to look for the lower meniscus. Lower meniscus means what? Like the meniscus will be coming like this. Okay, so the meniscus should be coming like this. If it is colored solution, upper meniscus. So as I have shown you in the previous, here, this is your upper meniscus. Is it clear, girls? Is it clear, girls?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, that's the first step. Okay. And another important point, what you can make out here is, I told you how you're going to prepare a MgSO4 salt solution, right? So instead of MgSO4, sometimes in numericals, you can also see calcium carbonate solution. Okay, I'll just explain you how you are going to prepare a calcium carbonate solution. Is a window shared? PPT? No, no. Okay, that's the step one. Preparation of standard MgSO4 solution. Okay, that is a standard solution. Non-weight. Okay, this is what I explained you. Okay, instead of this MgSO4, you can also have calcium carbonate solution. So how to prepare that? See, in the case of calcium carbonate, what is happening is it cannot be directly dissolved in the water. It has to be dissolved in little quantity of acid, and then you have to add water up to the mark. Okay. Unlike that of your MgSO4, you cannot directly add water to the salt. Okay. Following, girls.
Yes, ma'am.
I think this part I explained you the other day. Okay, so this is the preparation of standard solution of CaCO3. So dissolve 1 gram of CaCO3 in minimum quantity of dilute HCl and then evaporate the solution to dryness on a water bath. Okay, this is the procedure. And dissolve the residue in distilled water to make 1 liter of solution. Okay, now this procedure uh, is the procedure what you have to follow for calcium carbonate. Okay, now the standard solution what you have prepared, okay, for calcium carbonate, here you can see each ml of this solution, will contain 1 milligram of calcium carbonate equivalent hardness. Okay, so this is the procedure what you have to follow for preparing a calcium carbonate standard hard water. So standard hard water, it can be either calcium carbonate dissolved salt, or it can be a magnesium sulfate salt. So please don't get confused here, because in numericals sometimes they can be asking the calcium carbonate based on this, or they can be asking MgSO4. But whatever might be, the procedure remains same, like calculation of molarity, everything remains same, but only the procedure is differing in the like when you are using a different kind of salt. Is this point clear? Is this point clear, girls? Say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you can see here molarity M1. So this is the M1 what we are giving for the MgSO4 solution. Or in the case of calcium carbonate, you can give as M1. So the simple formula what you wrote, weight by molecular weight into 1000 by B. because this is the formula: weight by molecular weight, number of moles into 1000 by V. So by using this, you can calculate the molarity of the given MgSO4 solution. Okay, understood? And remember, your MgSO4 or CaCO3 would be termed as primary standards. I already told you what are the characteristics of a substance to be called as a primary standard substance. Okay, so your EDTA is not a primary standard, and therefore it need to be standardized. And the standardization of EDTA. So for this, you require the standard hard water. It can be either MgSO4 salt solution or it can be calcium carbonate salt solution. Okay, so the procedure is something like this. I'll just share this video. Okay, this is the water sample. This is the distilled water. Everybody know this is a conical flask. This is the indicator, Iriochrome black tea, and this is the buffer solution which is used here. And already the standard water is taken in the conical flask. Okay, so to this, I think they are adding the Iriochrome black tea. Actually, in the lab, we prepare a solution. Okay, indicator will prepare a solution of it. Okay, so then buffer must be added. You also have to add buffer solution. Okay, a pH 10 buffer, that is ammonium chloride and ammonium hydroxide buffer. What is its color? What is the color here? What is the color here?
Pale pink.
No. This color
Violet.
already explained. Yeah, wine red.
Violet.
Good. This is the wine red color. So this is called as tile. Okay, so if you have a white background, then you can have a very good at the like color can be identified easily. This is the standard flask. Okay, EDTA solution has to be standardized because it is not a primary standard. So we have to standardize EDTA solution. This is what is prepared here. Okay, but its concentration keeps on changing because it is unstable. So therefore, you just have to find out the concentration of EDTA by this procedure. That is called as the standardization of EDTA. Okay, so EDTA molarity cannot be known directly. You have to standardize it. Then you can find out the molarity. Okay, you require a burette. This is the burette stand. Okay, so this is your standard flask. This is distilled water. So what has to be taken in this burette now? This is a burette. So always remember that the burette must be filled with the solution which need to be standardized. So you can just see how they are pouring the EDTA solution. So you just have to use a funnel, then transfer the EDTA solution into the burette. And this is called as what? Titrant. A titrant is a solution which is whose concentration you're going to find out. Okay, that must be taken in the burette. What is a titrant? What is a titrant?
Whose quantity we are about to find, ma'am?
Whose concentration, okay, whose concentration you're going to find out, that must be filled in the burette. Okay, so to avoid the air bubbles, just they are tapping at the bottom. Just open that, open the nozzle of this burette so that you can avoid the air bubbles. And again, you can add the solution up to the 0 ml, like it can be 0 or it can be any volume. This is total of 50 ml capacity. So this is the color of the solution. So before the titration, what is the color? Before the titration, what is the color?
Wine.
Wine red. Okay. And in the conical flask, what are the things you have taken? What are the things you have taken in the conical flask? A standard hard water. Okay. So in this conical flask, you have taken standard hard water. So which is that standard hard water? That is a solution what you have prepared in step 1. Okay, a 20 ml of the standard hard water must be taken, and to which you are going to add a few drops of your indicator and then few ml of a buffer solution. Okay, and you're going to take only pH 10 buffer because the metal ADT complex is stable only at that pH, so you have to preferably take the pH 10 buffer. And what is that buffer used here? Ammonium chloride and ammonium hydroxide. Okay, so in the conical flask, what are the things we have added? Please, one of you quickly tell me.
Sample solution.
Which is the sample solution? You should be very clear with that because here we are going to find out the molarity of EDTA. So we have to take the standard hard water what we prepared in step 1. So step 1 we have started with hard water, right? Okay, standard hard water preparation. So that solution must be taken. And then what else?
Indicator EBT and buffer of pH 9 to 10 mol.
Very good, excellent. Now titrate with what? So this solution you're titrating with what?
Sodium salts of EDTA.
Sodium.
Okay, disodium salt of EDTA. So here in this image, you can see very clearly this is the wine red, and this wine red will now turn to blue at the end point. Okay, how clearly it is shown the color, right? A little variation will be there in the color of the solution before the titration and after the titration because it all depends upon the quantity of indicator what you have taken. Okay, we'll just see what color you get at the end point. Okay, here this is nothing but the wine red. Okay, so this they'll start titrating it. See, they are adding the titrant from the burette. Maybe the color what they have shown, the conical flask color, what you have seen earlier was after a little bit of titration. Okay, so this is not the original color. Okay, this is the original color wine red. Okay, then after some time, after the addition of the titrant that has taken this color, and with the further addition of the color, okay, this is still not blue. Blue means you can see after adding a little of titrate, you can see there is a lot of change in the color of the solution. So this is your blue color solution. Okay, so this is the expected color. Now you can make out the difference, girls. The blue and wine red. Then you have to note down the burette reading. Okay. So how much of the EDTA has been consumed for this titration? That will be your V2. So you can substitute in the formula. So now you can substitute in this formula. M1 V1 by N1, this is for your standard hard water, whether it is MgSO4 or CaCO3. And M2 V2 N2 is for your EDTA. Okay. So M2 is what? What is M2? M2 is the molarity of EDTA solution. Okay. And V2 is the volume of EDTA. How do you know this V2? How do you know this V2? Excellent. Okay. So V2 is the burette trading. M2, what I have to find out. And N1, N2 number of moles will remain one each. Okay. That you can get it from the balanced chemical reaction. And M1, V1. So what is this M1? From where do we get this M1?
Molarity of MgSO4, ma'am, from step 1.
Okay, what you have, very good, very good. And V1 is how much amount of standard hard water you have taken in the conical flask, whether it is 10 or 20, substitute that value, get the M2. So V2 and N2 will be taken to the other side and get the M2 value. Okay, M2 is the molarity of EDTA solution. Now, coming, that is how you can find out the concentration of EDTA solution. Okay, so we have just done with the step 1, step 2, and coming to the step 3. And what is step 3? Step 3 is the estimation of total hardness of water. Now, already I told you the purpose of this experiment. So you can just take any sample water, okay, instead of the standard hard water. Earlier, in the conical flask, we have taken standard water, okay, because we have to find out the concentration of EDTA. Now you can discard that solution. Now you can take the sample water, like it can be any sample from any area, like where you want to find out where you're trying to find out the hardness of that water sample, that must be taken in the conical flask. That is your sample water. Understood, girls? Sample water is a water whose hardness you're going to find out. That must be taken in the conical flask, and that volume will be specified. Like it can be 25 or 40 ml, whatever you are taking. That you have to specify as V3. So M2, V2, N2. Once again, these things are given for EDTA. And for sample water, you have M3, V3, and N3. Now, M3 is what? Molarity of hard water. Okay, water sample. Okay, that is the unknown water sample whose hardness you're going to find out. Its molarity is M3. That is what we have to find out now. And V3 is how much sample water you have taken. Whatever, how much you are taking, substitute that value. And N2, N3, each of it remains one each. Okay. Now, what is M2? From where do we get M2 value? From where do we get the M2 value? M2
From
value will be obtained from step 2. Okay. Now V2 value is what? V2 is whatever is the burette trading in the step 3. Okay. So in the step 3, what is the difference here? Step 3, how the procedure is done. So in the conical flask, you are going to take your sample water, then add few ml of buffer and EBT indicator, and then titrate with the EDTA. Again, here the color change will be from wine red to blue, and note down the end point. Okay, note down the volume of the titrant. Okay, note down the volume of the titrant. So that will be the V2. Okay, so M2 remains whatever value you got it from step 2. N2, N3, 1 each. M3 is what you have to find out now. V3 is sample water, how much you have taken in the conical flask, and V2 remains the EDTA titer value. Okay, so substitute that value and get the M3 value. Now M3, if M3 is known, multiply this M3 value into 10 power 5, you get the total hardness. Okay, so 10 power 5 means because molarity, you are converting molarity into ppm or hardness, so therefore you are multiplying with 1000, and into 100 denotes the molecular weight of calcium carbonate. So that total comes out to be 10 power 5. So therefore you are multiplying with a factor of 10 power 5, you get the total hardness in ppm. So whatever M3 value you are getting in step 3, that must be multiplied with 10 power 5. Okay, so that's how you can get the total hardness. And any doubt still here? Any
No,
doubt
ma'am.
still here? Okay, next step 4. Step 4 is the estimation of permanent hardness. Okay, so for this you have to follow a procedure. You have to take a sample water. Okay, that must be boiled for half an hour. Okay, you just have to take a 100 ml water sample in a beaker and put it on the burner. Put it on the burner and boil this water for 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so from the theory, what we have learned is on boiling, temporary hardness causing salts will be precipitated. Is this point clear? there are two types of hardness causing salts, right? One is that which causes temporary hardness. The other one is permanent hardness. So those salts which are causing temporary hardness, when you boil the water, what will happen? Calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, what will happen to them when you boil those salts?
They evaporate as gases.
Okay, calcium bicarbonate, it forms calcium carbonate along with the carbon dioxide, and magnesium bicarbonate, it get precipitated as magnesium hydroxide, okay, along with the water and carbon dioxide. That means when you boil, only the temporary hardness causing salts will be precipitated, but not the permanent hardness causing salts. Please remember that point. Okay, now after boiling, you have to cool this water sample. Okay, cool this and filter it. What is the necessity of filtration here? Why are we filtering the solution? Why should we filter the solution?
To separate the precipitate, ma'am.
Very good. So when you boil, as I told you, temporary hardness causing salts will be precipitated. So those, if you don't filter them, so again the water will be containing those impurities. So to just make sure that those salts are eliminated, you have to filter the solution and the filtrate. Okay, and the filtrate what you have obtained, that must be taken in standard flask of 100 ml capacity. Okay, so when you just boil the water, 100 ml water, when you boil for a period of half an hour, it almost comes out to be half of its original volume. So that will be around 50 ml. Okay, that is just only a rough calculation, rough estimation. So in the standard flask, after filtering that boiled water, okay, boiled and cool water, you will be left over with only 50 ml of water. Now to this, you are going to add distilled water up to the mark. Okay, up to the mark, you are going to prepare a standard solution of this. Now, from this standard solution, just take 20 ml of the uh, sample water, okay, of the standard water into a conical flask, add few drops of buffer and then indicator and then titrate with the EDTA. Again, the end point is from point red to blue. Then now, coming to the calculation part, M2 V2 by N2 equal to M4 into V4 by N4. Now, what is this V4? V4 is the molarity of the water sample in the step 4. V4 is what? V4, how much you have taken in the conical flask, and N2, N4, 1 each. M2 will remain same as your EDTA molarity, and V2 will be your Buer trading. Like depending upon the volume of the EDTA solution, how much ever it is consumed, that must be substituted here. Okay. So remember, always M2 will be for what? So throughout the experiment, you have to remember this point. M2 is always specified for EDTA, M2, V2 and N2. Whereas M4, V4, N4, this is for this water sample which is boiled, cooled and filtered. For that, you are going to assign M4, V4 and N4. Okay. Now, once after substitution of all these things, you get M4. Okay. Now, what is this M4? M4 is nothing but the molarity of permanent hard water. Now, when you multiply this with a factor of 10 power 5, you get the permanent hardness in ppm. Now, once the permanent hardness is known, total hardness is known, how to calculate the temporary hardness? Temporary hardness is nothing but the difference of total and permanent hardness. Is it clear, girls? Is the procedure clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Once again, here you can see the color change. Wine red is there earlier. Now in the end, blue color. This is when the metal ions are not complexed. This is when the metal ions are complexed with the EBT. So this is your free in EBT. This here in the first step, CaCO3 plus buffer plus distilled water plus EBT. So this is the structure of the metal EBT complex. You need to remember metal EBT, but you have to remember metal EDTA complex. And if you check the stability order, which complex is more stable? Metal EDTA is more stable than metal EBT. Can somebody tell me the reason why? One word. You can give your answer in one word.
It forms chelating structure, ma'am.
Excellent. Very good. So because of the chelating ring structure, okay, metal EDTA complexes are more stable than the metal indicator complexes. These are the important points. Color of metal EBT is wine red. Metal EDT is colorless. Blue color is because of the free indicator. So we are adding this buffer. Please do remember this. Mostly in the Viva questions they'll be asking to maintain the pH at constant, we add basic buffer, that is NH4OH, NH4Cl. So EBT is soluble in water, whereas insoluble in organic solvents. This is structure of metal. This is structure of your idiochrome black tea. Idiochrome black tea. Okay, so this is the end of the video. You're following us. Like with the help of these videos, I have a feeling that you might have a little bit more exposure, right? Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, Now we'll solve some numericals. Okay. Note down the question and then you can solve it. This is the visible, girls.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please copy the first question, all of you. All of you, please read out the first question. Not the entire question, only a part of it.
1 gram of CaCO3 is dissolved in HCl and
Okay.
solution was
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sahiti. I think Sahiti, no? Roll number 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Please, all of you copy this question and solve it. First, copy the question. We'll solve this in stepwise manner, okay? From this unit, girls, compulsorily you'll be asked the numericals. You have numericals from this chapter as well as from electrochemistry. Everybody copied this problem. You have to solve and we have to discuss about this one problem, girls, in detail. And remaining, you can do it at your leisure, okay? At least one problem in detail will solve. Copied the problem, girls. Okay. So step one. What is the step one? Somebody tell me what is the high reading of the step one? Fifth step now. We should start with fifth step.
Preparation of standard hot water.
Very good. So how to prepare that? Tell me the values quickly, girls. Step one. What is step one? M1. Okay. What is the molarity? How to calculate? What is the molarity here? This is nothing but the M1 value. Okay. Weight by molecular weight into 100 or into 1000 by volume. This is the formula. What is the weight? What is the weight of salt equivalent?
1 gram, ma'am.
Very good. 1 gram of CaCO3. Right? What is its molecular weight? Calcium carbonate, what is its molecular weight?
100, ma'am.
100, ma'am.
Into 1000. How much is the volume? How much is the volume? 1 liter, right? Yes or no? 1 liter, right? So 1 liter means how many ml? 1000 ml. Okay. So this is equal to how much molarity?
10 power
0.01.
minus
Oh yeah, 10 power minus 2. So this is 0.01 molar. So this is your M1. So M1 value equal to 0.01 molar. So this is the step 1. Now step 2. So what is step 2? What is the title for the step 2? What is the title for step 2? Standardization of EDTA solution. Okay. So M2 we want to calculate. Okay. This is the formula M2 V2 by N2 equal to what? N1 V1 by N1. Everywhere the number of moles will remain 1 each. What we have to calculate now? M1 or M2? Which one you have to calculate?
M2, ma'am.
Okay, M2. M2, I'm just rounding off this M2. Okay. So M1, how do we get? M1, this value you can directly take it from the step 1. V1, how much is given V1? Read out the question. 50 ml of above solution requires 30 ml of EDTA on titration. Okay. So 50 ml of above solution means what? What is the denoting? Either V1 or V2. How much is the EDTA
V1, ma'am.
volume? Yeah, V1 is the 50 ml and V2 is 30 ml. Okay. So substitute accordingly. How much M1? M1 is 0.01. Okay. Into V1 is 50 ml. Okay. By what we have to substitute now? V2 will be coming down. Okay. So V2 is how much? V2 is 30 ml. 30 ml of EDTA is mentioned very clearly. So on simplification, what is the value here? 50 ml of above solution requires 30 ml of EDTA and titration. Okay, so that is 30 ml of EDTA what we have substituted. How much is this value on simplification? How much you're getting? You calculate and tell me, girls.
0.016.
0.016. Is everybody getting same?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll fix this value. 0.016. Okay. Now this is what? This is nothing but the concentration of what? Concentration of what?
EDTA, ma'am.
Yeah, very good. EDTA. Okay. Now step 3. Step 3, what is the title for this?
Estimation of total hardness of water.
Very good. Estimation of total hardness of water. Okay. So what is the formula for this? M2 V2 by N2 equal to M3 V3 by N3. Okay. Now M2 value you already know. Okay. And anyhow, N1 is N2 is 1. N3 will also be 1. M3 we have to find out. Okay. And V3, V2 values you will be getting from the question. Now continuation with the sentence. 50 ml of hard water sample required 40 ml of EDTA. Okay. So which is V2, which is V3?
V2
How much is
is 40,
EDTA?
ma'am.
Yeah, very good. V2 is 40 because they are calling 40 ml of EDTA and V3 is 50. Yes. Now we want to calculate M3. So when we have to calculate M3, V3 must be taken to the other side. So the calculation is 0.016 into V2 is how much? 40 divided by how much? 50 divided by 50. How much is this value on simplification? How much you're getting? 50 girls.
0.0128, ma'am.
0.0128. Everybody else is getting same value. One more girl can confirm this value. Fast girls. Yes, sir. Okay. So how to calculate the total hardness? Formula for that? Total hardness. Formula, what is the formula? M3 into 10 power 5. Okay. So this will come out to be 0.0128 into 10 power 5. How much you are getting? Total hardness? Yes? 0.0128 into 10 power 5.
1280.
Very good. 1280 ppm. So this is total hardness. So how to calculate permanent hardness? That is the last step. Okay. How to calculate permanent hardness? Formula? What is the formula for this? M2 V2 equal to M4 V4. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
The last part of your question. This is step 4. M2 V2 equal to M4 V4. Substitute them. Again, you have to read the question. So what is the continuation of the question? 50 ml of hard water on boiling, filtering, require 30 ml of the EDTA on titration. Calculate temporary, permanent and total hardness. So accordingly, substitute the values here. M2 you know, okay. So that is 0.016, right? Into how much is V2? How much is
30,
V2?
ma'am.
Very good. 30. We have to calculate M4. How much is V2? Sorry, this is not V2, this is V4. Yeah. How much is V4? V4 is
50.
50. Hurry up, girls. What is this value? Let me know. How much you're getting on simplification? Fast, fast, fast. 0.01.
0.01.
No.
0.0096, ma'am.
0096. Now multiply this with 10 power 5 to get the into 10 power 5 so that you get the permanent hardness. How much is this value?
960, ma'am.
Very good. 960 ppm. How to calculate the temporary hardness now?
Total minus permanent hardness.
How much is that? Temporary hardness.
320, ma'am.
That is equal to 320. Understood now how to solve this? because this is the most important question what you can expect. Okay, so this is for lengthy answer. So each and every step you have to be very careful. Okay, so I think in that PPT you have 2 more problems. You can solve them. If you have any doubts, we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Fine. Any doubts still here?
No, ma'am.
You need to face any problem in solving this? Roll number 9, Archia. Make a note of absent is numbers, Mama. Roll number 9 is absent. Arshia, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Roll number 9 is absent. "23" is absent. 34 is anyhow not there. 41 is also not there, no? Okay, only
Yes, ma'am.
54 is absent again. Roll number 9 and 54. 9 kada? I told you 9, no?
Yes, ma'am. 9,
9 and
23,
54.
44.